All right, let's cut through the noise and get to the heart of the matter. Why does the United States care so much about Iran having nuclear weapons? This isn't just another headline or a distant foreign policy debate. For Washington, the stakes are sky high and the reasons go way beyond simple rivalry or old grudges. It's about the future of global security, the balance of power in one of the world's most volatile regions, and the very real possibility of a nuclear arms race that could spiral out of control. First off, it's all about keeping the Middle East from turning into a nuclear free-for-all. The region is already a powder keg, with decades of tension, proxy wars, and deep-seated rivalries. If Iran were to go nuclear, it could set off a chain reaction that would make the current situation look tame by comparison. Imagine if Iran gets the bomb. Suddenly, countries like Saudi Arabia and maybe even Turkey are thinking, well, if they have it, why shouldn't we? These nations have the resources and the motivation to pursue their own nuclear programs, and the pressure to keep up with Iran would be immense. It's the classic domino effect, but with nukes, which is, let's be honest, the worst kind of dominoes. One country's decision could trigger a regional nuclear arms race, making the Middle East even more unpredictable and dangerous than it already is. Now here's where it gets real for the US. Iran with nuclear weapons isn't just about bragging rights, it's about power, leverage, and the threat of actual conflict. A nuclear-armed Iran could use its new status to intimidate neighbors, flex its muscles in regional disputes, and even embolden its proxies across the Middle East. The US worries that Iran might get bolder, possibly threatening allies like Israel, or shaking up oil routes that much of the world relies on. The Strait of Hormuz, for example, is a vital choke point for global energy supplies, and any instability there could send shockwaves through the world economy. If Iran even hints at launching a nuke, suddenly every disagreement in the region could spiral into a full-blown crisis. The risk of miscalculation or accidental escalation would skyrocket, and the world could find itself on the brink of a conflict no one wants. And then there's the bigger picture, non-proliferation. The US has signed up to global treaties like the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which basically says, let's keep the number of nuclear countries as small as possible. This isn't just a nice idea, it's a cornerstone of international security. The idea is, the fewer nuclear weapons out there, the safer the world is. Every new nuclear state increases the risk of nuclear war, terrorism, or catastrophic accidents. That's why the US and its allies work so hard to prevent new countries from joining the nuclear club. If Iran goes nuclear, it chips away at that whole system. It sends a message that international agreements can be broken, and that the world's efforts to control nuclear weapons are failing. But it's not just about rules on paper. The US has a long memory, and Iran's past nuclear secrets keep raising eyebrows. There's a history of hidden facilities, secret enrichment, and a pattern of evasion that makes Washington deeply suspicious. There have been times when inspectors found uranium enriched almost to weapons grade, and honestly, that kind of thing freaks out Washington. It's not just about what Iran says, it's about what inspectors actually find on the ground. This isn't just theory, it's playing out right now. Recently, the US launched a massive operation, over 100 aircraft, bunker-busting bombs, the whole 9 yards, targeting Iran's main nuclear sites. This was a clear message. The US is willing to use force to stop Iran from crossing the nuclear threshold. The official line? The US says it's at war with Iran's nuclear program, not Iran itself. But in reality, the line between targeting a program and targeting a country can get blurry fast, especially when tensions are this high. The aim is to set Iran's nuclear ambitions back, not start another endless conflict. But every strike, every sanction, and every diplomatic move carries risks of retaliation, of escalation, and of unintended consequences that could draw the US deeper into the region's turmoil. The bottom line is, Washington thinks a nuclear Iran is a recipe for chaos. It's not just about Iran, it's about the entire region and the global order that's been built to prevent nuclear catastrophe. The US wants to keep the region stable, protect its allies, and stick to international rules. That's why you're seeing diplomacy, sanctions, and, when those fail, frankly, airstrikes. It's a mix of pressure and negotiation, all aimed at stopping Iran before it's too late. It's a high-stakes game, and the world's watching every move. Every decision, every headline, and every military maneuver is being analyzed for what it means for the future of the Middle East and the world. Thanks for tuning in. Stay curious, stay informed, and remember, when it comes to nuclear weapons, the stakes couldn't be higher.